I'm going to tell you exactly where we're at in this COVID crisis, where we're headed, and how we can get back to normal right now. Hey everyone, we're here at Thoracic Park. Today, the focus continues on the COVID-19 crisis. People have stayed home, businesses have closed, people have even gone crazy during this quarantine. And then there was a small ounce of hope. Bars and restaurants are starting to reopen. Heck, in parts of the country, they never even closed. Pool parties in Arizona, restaurants in Wisconsin, bars in the South. We even had a crazy lady suggesting this whole thing is a hoax. And here we thought 2020 was going to get back to normal again. But we've seen a recent spike in cases. In Florida, this past weekend, they had a record number of new cases each day. In Arizona, they've also seen a spike in cases, and California has even seen thousands of new cases each and every day. Well, what do? Definitely not this. Urine-infested pool parties in the Ozarks, I don't want to know what's in the water. But in all seriousness, new cases have been cited to have come from this specific event. It's events like these that are creating this sense of irresponsibility and continuing us down this rabbit hole. Remember the Spanish flu? Neither do I. But it was the second wave in 1918 that was deadlier and worse than the first. Is history going to repeat itself? Well, let's not jump the gun. I don't think so. In places like New Zealand, they've gone nearly 23 days without a single case of COVID-19. Health officials are saying that if you can go 28 days without a single case, you can consider the virus eradicated. Well, when are we going to get there in the United States? It'll be a year at least, and that's being optimistic. It could take as long as 2 to 3 years. You've got people like this at the W in Arizona hosting pool parties Memorial Day weekend and offering bottle service. Well, 2-bottle minimum with a side of COVID? I don't think so. New Zealand wasn't allowing anybody into the country while they were fighting this virus. Only recently have they begun allowing American Cup sailors and making exemptions for other individuals to enter the country. I'm not necessarily advocating we shut cities down and go back into a phase 1 type quarantine, but we have to be careful because if we don't take this seriously, we can dig a hole bigger than we can climb out of, and it can take even longer to go back to normalcy. If you think about it, the social and financial repercussions will be worse if we can't eradicate and beat this thing. Well, guys, here we are. According to the Hopkins data, nearly 8 million people have tested positive for COVID-19. That's 1 in every 1,000 people that have tested positive, and that's not including the ones that were never tested. There's been a mortality rate of about 5% globally. That's crazy. Compare this to the flu, where nearly 10% of the global population gets infected in a given year with a mere mortality rate of 0.1%. There's a big difference. The average person touches their face 23 times an hour. So by staying safe, washing your hands, don't touch your face, wear a mask, and keep your distance, hopefully we can beat this thing.